Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Fate Unlimited Blade Works. We're on the start of Season 2. So real quick, the discussion for this episode isn't going to be in this episode, okay? It's going to be at the end of Episode 2 when I finish that. And obviously, you know, I'll just basically group them together, so I'm discussing both Episodes 1 and 2 at the end of Episode 2. The reason for this is I'm kind of running low on time. I need to be efficient because I haven't made the announcement yet, but and this just goes for patrons, by the way, so if this is out on YouTube for the general public now, just disregard what I'm about to say. But for patrons, obviously tomorrow, Saturday, not that Saturday, but the following Saturday, so Saturday the 16th of March, I'll be going away on holiday to Turkey. You know, I need to do essentially double what I'd normally do. And, you know, last time I was away on holiday, I actually set some things up to be, you know, so they could be scheduled to come out on those days, because I could do that with YouTube. Now, because of the format that I react to a lot of these series now, where the discussion video is on YouTube and the reaction is on Vimeo, Vimeo doesn't allow me to sort of schedule things to go public like YouTube does, which means I just have to upload everything that would usually be in that week and upload it in the week before. So essentially you guys will be getting double what you would usually get. Instead of getting 4 episodes this coming week, Monday and Friday, then you'll be getting 8 episodes. And that goes for the for like the other shows and whatnot that week as well. But so yeah, I'm just gonna make it a bit more efficient for myself, like right now, and I'll just put the end of the discussion at the for this episode at the end of episode 2 along with that one. Okay, so yeah, without further ado, okay, right, so we're on the start of season 2. The last episode was a double length. I didn't even realize until I started reacting to it, but it was anyway. So yeah, we ended. That episode was nuts. They come across Caster and whatnot. Caster was interested in Shiro's magical circuit, so she didn't want to kill him. She wanted to make him his puppet. Instead, some things ended up happening. She took his command spells via. Oh, she didn't take his command spells. He used up the last of his command spells. She used her, Caster used her Noble Phantasm, which negates all fucking including command spells, and then stabbed Saber with it, essentially meaning that now Saber is under Caster. She's now Caster's servant, and then Caster was given the command spells for her to, you know, to make it official. So yeah, technically as of right now, Shiro is not in the Holy Grail War. I mean, well, you know, officially he still wants that. He's not going to just back out. He's going to continue doing what he's going to do. But he's injured, and also at the end, someone did say the pendant or whatnot that he did pick up from the Tosaka estate, the one that Rin was given back by Archer. I was saying that maybe there was a case in which, because originally I thought Archer made a pendant or whatever, he already had one, and he swapped it out at the beginning of Unlimited Blade Works, so that you know, Rin actually does get her original pendant back, but there's nothing in it, so, you know, it's basically run out of mana. But at the end of last episode, I was wondering if maybe the opposite had happened, and actually Rin was given back, she was given like the new pendant or whatever, and so therefore, like, you know, Shiro could actually heal with whatever's in that remaining pendant. But somebody did point out the fact that no, the pendant that Shiro has now is actually Tosaka's original one that doesn't have anything in it. So there's that. I mean, I don't see why. Maybe Shiro will go back and get his own pendant, I guess. I mean, you know, if he's got to think, like, because I don't think he's actually made the connection yet, has he? He hasn't made the connection that there's a pendant back at his that's exactly the same. I don't know. Maybe things are just going through his head at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, so he just doesn't, you know, he's not thinking about it. But yeah, essentially Rin and Archer, they're a way to confront Caster straight up. I mean, I don't know what their plan is, because technically they're going to have to go up against Assassin, Caster, and Saber all at the same time. That's just Archer. I mean, he's good. I don't think he's going to be able to deal with 3 of them at once. So yeah, there's that going on. And obviously Shiro went to try and, you know, basically say, no, I'm coming with and whatever, and Rin was like having none of it. But, you know, she's said previously that, you know, there's if he continues, then he'll die. Like, you know what I mean? If he goes along with it, he'll die. So yeah. And then like at the end there, when Casta was like just moving her location to the Grail, there's the Lesser Grail, Greater Grail apparently, and she was looking for the lesser one, which I believe is sort of like, I think in Zero, I would imagine the Lesser Grail was actually the one they had the whole time, which was inside Iri, because I think that's just like, because I can't imagine the Greater Grail being carried by something. I feel like it's sort of on its own and kind of appears when it wants. So, you know, I feel like the Lesser Grail was with Iri. So I'm guessing that the Lesser Grail now is with Elia then. I mean, that's the only thing I can really, you know, imagine that's where it would be. But yeah, they went to the church, obviously where Kyria was. Kyria was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So she summoned a load of those ghouls to go after Kyria, and he's in the middle of fighting them in the church. Lancel was looking on. We still haven't got his master yet, so he's the last master to be revealed. So yeah, I believe that is all. So we're going to get into this next episode, start of season 2, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 1 of season 2. Right, I know I said at the beginning that I was going to wait until episode 2, but I mean, I can't now, because I have things in my head that, like, I'm worried that I might forget in the time that's going to take to react to episode 2 and stuff. Fuck's sake. Okay, right, so this episode really, like, this confirms it for me. Like, yeah, Shiro and Archer are the same. Beforehand, it was like there was still like maybe other possibilities, but like this seals it for me. Like, there's no way, like, Archer he has to be Shiro. He has to be. I think what this is Archer knows exactly who he is. Or if he doesn't, he subconsciously sort of knows the past. Or he subconsciously knows his past, right? And by that I mean he might not know that he is Shiro himself, but I think he's probably aware of what is happening, like, as it's sort of happening. So I think, like, he has this image of, because he's lived through this before, because he would have lived through it as Shiro, he sort of has this sort of idea. He knows what it takes to do what he has to do. The fact that Rin had you know, the vision of him, and she's saying that, you know, there are these special summons, these special servants that are fail-safe devices to essentially stop the destruction of the human race. So they're put in there. So they're sort of like an exception to what normally is the case, which basically that puts me in a state where I'm like, okay, if there are fail-safe devices, then I'm absolutely, I can understand the idea that that there can be like future heroes, you know what I mean? Like, so heroes that haven't come to pass yet in their like origin world. So Shiro hasn't got his chance to be, like, you know, the hero of the human race yet, or like, you know, he hasn't gotten to that point yet. But there's a bunch of different things, like Shiro at the end there when he's confessing and stuff, and he's saying, like, I found myself like looking up to this girl Rin Tosaka, and he almost like he almost didn't know why. Again, like, I think it's sort of like, you know, the sort of the connection that he has with, like, future art, like, you know, Archer, right? We'll just call him Archer, future Shiro, whatever the fuck. He's also like bringing up regret as well, even though that wasn't like a topic that Rin brought up, but that was a topic that Rin and Archer were talking about beforehand. So again, like, sort of like a connection there that he doesn't consciously know of, but he's talking about stuff that Rin was just talking about like earlier on in the day. You know what I mean? Back in the vision as well, like Archer apparently like began to despise the human race because his ideals were like betraying him the whole time. Like this, that's the reason why he is so like, why Archer is against Shiro's ideals, because seeing as he's like a sort of fail-safe device, because he is essentially, in this sort of like theory, he is the sort of like future Shiro. Depending on how it works, there can be like different, I don't even want to say different timelines because even the thought of it just hurts my brain. But like, depending on how many times he's done this, each time if he's trying to find a way to live up to be a hero of justice and save like everybody in his like original ideal, and it doesn't work, so he has to resort to doing like the opposite of what his ideal is. Like over time, eventually it just breaks down, and he's like, yeah, it's just impossible. Like like it just can't be done. So this idea of just like, you know, to save everyone and put everybody else first, it just doesn't work. So that's the reason why he's just sort like, his ideals are like, whilst they're like so, it's interesting because even though like they are, the ideals that Archer has and Shiro has are essentially like, they are similar, but they are like they're like opposite. You know what I mean? Like the opposite way of doing things, or like to achieve the same goal, you've got to sort of change your perspective a bit and do things differently first, and put yourself first. That yeah, the people call him and Archer like so similar, like even after all that, you know, even though the way that they sort of look at things, but that it's just a slight change of perspective that you know. And that Archer said that his end, when he was talking to Rin as well, he said that his end came came long ago. So it's just the kind of thing of like, well, how far, like how much time has really passed? Like what like sort of time is he in? You know what I mean? Like how much time has passed since apparently to him, since the events that like this happened originally. I don't fucking know. He just said long ago though. But yeah, I mean, them being, the idea that they are called fail-safes, that to me makes all the sense in the world why they would be like, they would come essentially from the future, or they would have lived through these moments before, because those are the, like, if you want a fail-safe, then it's best to get the people who have like actually lived it and know how to, you know, how to combat whatever had happened previously, how to actually defeat it. Because you know, they'll know exactly what's coming in at what time. I feel like, you know, this is the reason why I think Archer himself, like, he doesn't, when he's saying that he can't remember, or it's all hazy, you know, that he's sort of like, maybe he's lying to a degree, because he can't give away that idea, he can't give away that fact. I mean, it's interesting that he, you know, he doesn't tell it to Rin, even though Rin gets it in visions. So I remember that one time when Rin was like, had a vision, and she told Archer like, oh, it's because he keeps showing me this weird stuff, and he was like, what? And because maybe with him being such a him being an exception to to the other servants, that maybe maybe he isn't aware, like, on a conscious level, that sort of happens, as opposed to what the other servants do, because the other servants are aware of it, right? At least I thought they were. But it was Rin talking, so she's aware that these sort of fail-safe devices exist. I don't know to what degree she actually knows about like the origin of them, or like why they exist. But she's the one talking about it, so I is a sort of like her being a narrator. I don't know if that is primarily from her mind, like she actually knows that information, or it's just a narration. I feel like it has to be like she has to know about it. Like that actually has to be like in her words. Like she knows about that stuff, because otherwise I feel like she wouldn't be the narrator for that. But yeah. Because I feel like Archer just knows exactly what's going to happen. Like, I feel like he is aware of everything that's happening at any time. Like, you know, he looked behind and saw Shiro up there. Like, he knew he was going to be there. He unlocked Shiro's, like, magical circuits and stuff, so he can use them without being, you know, hurt by them next time. Like, why would he do that if his initial, you know, if this was his, I feel like because this was his initial plan all along. Like, he had to get to a point where this was going to happen. Like, I think he knew that Saber was, like, going to get captured. I think this is his thing. Like, I think he knows that. I think this all goes back to that episode where he was in Ryudo Temple, and he was talking to Shiro, and he was like, the best thing to do is let Casta do her thing so that she can defeat Berserker, right? Because Casta isn't the she's not the one to look out for. It's Berserker the one to look out for, right? With Archer, like saying to Shiro, like, no, like that's the best way to do it. Like, I feel like he had to. I think this was his plan all along, because otherwise, like, you know, he had that idea in his head before anything, like any huge things ever happened. He had it, you know, before like Saber got captured and all of that good stuff. So I think he knew that this was how it was going to play out all along. And yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot that even after that, like after Archer like slashed Shiro and all that like Shiro never harbored any real hatred towards the guy. In fact, he actually ended up, like, you know what I mean, almost like liking him more because of it. So I think I think Archer's just playing essentially along this idea, like everything is happening naturally, but in reality he knows exactly, like, everything's happening beat by beat, and he knows that that's what's happening. So he knew that at that point in the church, that in order for things to go right, he has to join Casta. All of them have to take on Berserker, and then after that, I'm guessing Archer's either like he's probably aware of the idea that Saber can resist. I mean, Archer in some way, like, you know what was interesting is that when Saber got stabbed, it was almost like she actually got stabbed. Like, it hurt, you know? Whereas Archer, like, it just didn't faze him whatsoever. Like, and it was, like, quick. It was like, oh, that's that, you know what I mean? And he never fucking flinched. I'm wondering if they are failsafe, right? If Archer is a failsafe device, right? Special kind of servant. I wonder if command spells don't work on those at all. Because surely if it's a fail-safe device, right, it's put in there to stop the destruction of the human race. There is a possibility that whoever is the master of that fail-safe device, if they give, like, a command via command, like, spell at the wrong time, then the destruction could continue. You know what I mean? I feel like with a failsafe, there has to be like a certainty that this isn't gonna that it isn't gonna happen. So I feel like you have to take out that sort of that RNG of like, oh, what's the master gonna do? You know what I mean? So I wonder if it's under like if they are under the impression that they can actually control Archer, even though it's a failsafe device, because they've got command spells, and that's the reason why like he was never hurt by the thing. He was never hurt by the dagger, the noble phantasm, and I think he knows that. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows everything beat by beat. I think he has to join Caster. I think together with the 4 they have, I don't know if Assassin's ever going to really go up against, like, you know, I don't know if he's going to join the battle against Berserker or not, but because I feel like he's almost just like a god. But I feel like the idea is he was supposed to join Caster. They have to take out Berserker, and then from the inside, if Archer is not really tied to command spells and everything like that, then there's nothing stopping him from just taking out Caster right there and then. Because it's either that or you have to rely on Saber. I think Saber can like resist it. I don't think she can like literally go and kill her master though. Like I don't think that's a thing that she can do. I don't think she can fully disregard everything just because she's got magical resistance. Like. But I think she can resist it to an extent. So I think the idea is then, yeah, I think Archer's going to do it from the inside. I think it's a ploy that he's making. Like the reason why I say that I think because he's a failsafe device that that the command spells don't work on him is obviously like what I just said. In regards that you can't just have the RNG of depending on what the master commands him to do, because that could completely just disregard the whole failsafe idea. But also the fact that the commands that Rin has actually used on him haven't been legitimate commands. Like they have been commands that you can't see a visual change in what the thing's doing. So there's no real evidence that says that he can be commanded. So yeah, I think that there's something to be said. I think he is joining Caster primarily under the suspicion that Caster's going to think that that's it. She is completely unstoppable now. I think she thought that when she got Saber, but at this point, it's like to her anyway. In her mind, that's it. It's in the bag. I think they go take up Berserker and then Archer just like backstabs her or fucking kills her in some way, I think that has to happen. And then from that, apparently Rin said, I'm gonna kill, did you say I'm gonna kill Caster or Caster's master? I guess it doesn't matter. I guess in some ways it's sort of like if you kill Caster, Kazuki still lives, but you get yeah, I think Caster has to die, really. Because otherwise, if you kill Kazuki, then Caster's up for grabs, which I don't think that's going to be the case. I think I think Caster is going to die either at the same time as Kazuki, or I think she's just going to die alone. Kazuki's going to stay alive. And apparently that's what Rin said. Like, I'm going to get you back. So there must be something that she knows that if you kill Caster, you get your shit back. Now, in what regard? Like, I wonder, because it could be a case of like you see, the thing that really wonders me is that when she took away Saber, and I'm going to guess the same with Archer as well, she actually got a full stigmata. Like, she got like 3 crests or 3 commands, I'm guessing. She could. I don't even know if like she could get in like, I don't know, infinite. I don't know how it works, but I'm gonna just say that she gets like the full stigmata, so she gets 3. Because she got a replenished one, you know, she took away Saber when technically Shiro had none left. Like, he used his last one when she took Saber. And even if that wasn't the case, he had only 1 left, and then she got a full one. So she essentially replenished. She replenished, like, you know, command spells for that servant. So I'm wondering, if she was to die, would those spells transfer back to like Shiro and Rin, so they actually get 3 again? You know what I mean? Or do they get back what they originally had? Which, in that case, then I would believe Shiro wouldn't get any back. And Saber would be masterless, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, Archer mentioned dragon teeth, which is something I'm guessing that's sort of, you know, like in the mythos of, like, you know, Greek mythology, like that's something Medea actually used. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be a dragon tooth, that dagger. Possibly. It's a bit of an odd shape, but you know, in mythology, anything can be the case. They mentioned Kirei apparently being slain, which, you know, Rin pointed out that, if you don't see the corpse, he's still fucking around there. You know what I mean? He's like a fucking cockroach. Guy doesn't die. You know what I mean? As soon as I saw like the blood thing there, I was like, that's supposed to indicate that Kirei's been hurt and whatnot. But I'm like, and like, you know, later on, Caster's like, slew the priest. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't. You didn't. Trust me. So yeah. So that's it then. That's what all I've got. I had to talk about this after the episode because I was worrying that I would lose some of the things I wanted to talk about. So even though I said at the beginning I wasn't going to, I was going to wait until next episode, I did it anyway. So yeah, that was all for episode 1. So thank you for watching. In the description below, links to certain things. Discord, get yourself over there. Well, information regarding everything you want on my channel and everything like that is over there. And also you can come talk to me in the community. My website, SirMonkeySuit.com, everything, like all my content's over there, and you can become a member and access the forums and shit like that, and Patreon. So if you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. Early access, $5 a month. Full length, $10. Exclusive tier, $15. That gives you access to a bonus show that that I'm reacting to, which is 7 Deadly Sins. So if you want to see me react to that, then that's what you want to get. $50, that's the elite tier. Every time you pay $50, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. Go to the back of the list, by now about 7 shows. Might take a while to get round to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait that long and you want your show to be reacted to next, then you want to get God tier, which is $100. That means that your show, will be reacted next. But that is all. So thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye.